Hey everyone, welcome back. We are ready to deep dive today.
Yeah, looking forward to this one.
So we're going to be looking at Alaska Air Group,
Mm.
their performance last year in 2024.
Yep.
And, Alaska Air Group, they might not be like the first airline that comes to mind,
Right.
when you think about like the big players in the U.S. airline industry.
The big three. Yeah.
But let me tell you, they had a phenomenal year.
Absolutely.
We're going to be digging into some excerpts from pasted text, which kind of lay out all the details of their performance.
Yeah.
But just to kind of give you a little teaser,
Yeah, what are we looking at here?
they had a really remarkable year, and it might surprise you.
I think it's going to surprise a lot of people. I mean, they posted record revenues.
Really?
Yeah, up 25% year over year.
25%.
Uh-huh.
Wow. Okay, so I'm already interested. So, when we think about Alaska Air Group, right,
Yeah.
I think about, they've got a relatively modest fleet of aircraft.
Smaller. Yeah. Smaller. Yeah. A lot of narrow body aircraft, mainly focused on kind of shorter routes,
Right. Yeah.
not necessarily like, the big transatlantic, international flights.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is why I think it's so interesting they did so well this year. Typically, you think about these larger airlines.
Right.
They've got those big, wide-body jets. They're flying all over the world. They get a lot of attention. Right.
Right.
But Alaska Air Group kind of flies under the radar a little bit.
Right.
They're focused on, efficiency. They're focused on, kind of a particular niche in the market.
Well, I mean, 25%, that's a huge jump in revenue.
Yeah.
So clearly they're doing something.
They are. And I think one of the big factors here was the merger with Hawaiian Airlines
Oh, wow.
that finally went through.
Yeah, so I remember there were rumors about that.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
For a while, I wasn't even sure it was actually going to happen.
Right.
But it sounds like it did.
Yeah, it closed in 2024. Wow. Okay, so that's got to be a pretty significant development for them.
It's huge. I mean, you think about it, Alaska already had a strong presence on the West Coast, right?
Right.
Seattle, Portland, all those major hubs. And now they bring Hawaiian Airlines into the fold.
Right.
They basically own West Coast to Hawaii travel.
Wow.
It's a really strategic move.
So, okay, I have to ask then, what does this mean for travelers like us? Like, are we going to start seeing cheaper flights to Hawaii? Is that what's going to happen now?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible in the short term.
Okay.
They might offer some really attractive fares, try to get people, excited about flying the combined airline.
Okay.
But long term, it's hard to say.
Yeah.
Mergers can be tricky.
Sure.
And sometimes when you have this kind of consolidation, you actually see less competition.
Oh, interesting.
And that can lead to higher fares down the line.
So it's almost like a trade-off.
It could be. It's definitely something we need to watch closely, see how things develop over the next few years.
So maybe not such good news for those of us who are hoping to get to Hawaii on the cheap.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just about the fares, though, right? We also have to think about the impact on service quality,
No, right.
the overall traveler experience.
Yeah.
Mergers can lead to growing pains. It'll be interesting to see how they manage the integration of these two airlines.
Yeah, it'll be really fascinating to see how it all plays out. So we've got this huge revenue growth, this landmark merger, a lot of unknowns about the future. It sounds like Alaska Air Group is definitely going to be a company to watch in the coming years.
I think so, yeah. They're making big moves. They're shaking things up.
And this merger with Hawaiian, that's got to have some ripple effects throughout the industry.
Absolutely. I think it's gonna raise a lot of questions for other airlines. How do they respond to this? How do they stay competitive? Will we see other airlines pursuing their own mergers?
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a very dynamic time for the airline industry as a whole.
Wow, that's a really interesting thought. So as we kind of wrap up this deep dive, I mean, there are a lot of things to think about.
Yeah, a lot of open questions.
What does this mean for the future of air travel? How is this going to reshape the competitive landscape?
Especially in the Pacific, right? That's where they're really going to have a stronghold.
Right. A lot to ponder, folks.
Yeah.
So thanks for joining us for this deep dive into Alaska Air Group. Definitely keep those questions in mind as you watch the airline industry unfold. And we'll see you next time.
See you next time.